WIFO Big Dog Country Local Musician Spotlight, sponsored by Union Station Brewing Company, Watermelon Gumballs, England's Collision Center, and American Steel Buildings. Tune in every week to hear the best local talent put all the rest of the test. Come on and crank it up for this week's star right here on 105.5 WIFO Big Dog Country.
Hey y'all, it's Jonathan Wheat from Union Station Brewing Company, Wayne County's first and only brewery. We do a lot of firsts around here. We built Jesup's first beer garden, built the first indoor axe throwing facility, host open mic nights, taproom yoga, and of course, we're the first family-friendly place to grab amazing craft beer. We're proud to sponsor the local musician spotlight, many of whom have performed here already. Keep an eye out for future dates with some of these great artists. We're located at 106 Southwest Broad Street in Jesup, down by the tracks. Union Station Brewing Company. Craft beer just got better.
Are you in need of a durable, reliable, and cost-effective building solution? Look no further than American Steel Buildings in Jesup, Georgia. With American Steel Buildings, you can trust that you're getting a high-quality product at a great price. Call Chad Burke at American Steel Buildings in Jesup, Georgia today at 912-294-2011 or visit our website at americansteelbuildingsllc.com.
All right, WIFO FM, Jesup, Georgia. We've got a big band in the studios for the Musician Spotlight, and the Spotlight is brought to you by Union Station Brewing, American Steel Buildings, Watermelon Gumballs, and England's Collision Center. And the band in the studio today is Delta Circle. Delta Circle out of Savannah is this week's winner of the WIFO FM Big Dog Country Musician Spotlight. So we want to welcome them to the studios. Good morning.
Good morning, man. How you doing?
I'm good. Have you guys ever been to Jesup, Georgia before?
We have. Yeah, quite a few times. Yes, sir.
So you played venues in Jesup?
I have. I've played the VFW here in Jesup many a time.
Okay.
Many a time.
Okay, so before we talk about the music, we want to go kind of around the table here and talk about who you are, who your family is, where you individually are from, and anything that you want to provide for us, anything you want to share with us. None of that top secret stuff, but
okay.
Anything you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know if I got much then. I don't know. Yeah.
So we'll start right with Nick. So Nick, who are you? Where are you from? And tell us about yourself.
Awesome. Well, I'm originally from a little town in Vermont. I moved down to Georgia about 3 years ago, but I've been in Savannah ever since. And I'm, just been living in Savannah, met these guys in Savannah. And other than that, it's just been music the whole time I've been down here.
So you said Vermont?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Just checking with you. Okay. So, Ernest?
I am a Savannah, Georgia native, man. I've been here my whole entire life, traveled a little bit here and there. All my family's been right here in Savannah for a long time, and just kind of getting back to the music thing. I was out of it for about 10 years, and I went through some life changes and ran into this guy and decided to start playing music again, and kind of been going from there.
All right. And Kyle?
I am originally from Newark, Delaware. I've been in Savannah, Georgia for the last 4 years. About 2 years ago, I picked up the music thing and met these guys a couple months back, and we've been hitting it hard ever since.
All right. And Josh?
Yes, sir. I'm Savannah native, as Ernest said. Well, he said that about himself. I'm talking about me.
Talking about you.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Savannah. I started playing music, I don't know, probably 15, 16, so many years ago. And started taking it seriously a couple years ago, and ran into these guys, and I said, wow, they're doing something pretty good. I want a part of this.
There you go.
Hop on the gravy train.
So tell us about family. Tell us about kids. Married? Got kids? Got family?
Not married, no kids.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
I used to be married, but I got 4 amazing kids, so yeah, got that going on.
There you go.
Not married, no kids.
All right.
Nope.
I've had enough for all of us. So we're
Sound like an
Thanks for sharing, man.
There you go. Sound like an episode of the dating game or something.
I know.
So you guys are like from everywhere. I mean, you're from different states and all that. So naturally, the next question would be, how did the band form? Tell us about the band and how you guys got together and who met who got it all together, who's the leader and all that stuff. Talk to us.
I wouldn't say leader, man, but these guys do let me do most of the stuff. I've been in this industry for a long time.
Thanks, Ernest.
They trust me a little bit. But no, like I said, I had been out the industry for 10 years and had a buddy of mine call me up and he said, man, I heard you was getting back to playing music. He said, I'm playing with somebody and we're looking for a bass player. So I wrote out and met Nick, and him and I just clicked, and we started this other project. Things was going good for a while, and we decided that, we wanted to move a different direction, so Nick and I went elsewhere. So, of course, we got on the hunt, and anyway, I had met Kyle and Josh a while back, and Kyle called me up because he actually was calling a bass player to come play a show for him, and the bass player was playing with a band that I used to be with. And so he called me and was like, I heard you was free tonight. So I went and played with these two guys. And after I played with them, I called Nick and I was like, I think I found the drummer and guitar player. So, so we just got together. And
His old band, his old drummer called me to fill in. And then I found out that he wasn't playing. And I was like, what? You just happen to need a bass player.
There you go.
Just worked out.
Yeah. So it just kind of, as we were told, we kind of wife swapped that whole situation.
Oh, definitely. For sure.
So Kyle kind of brought it together, and then you came, and then Josh, and then Nick. Where you at? I mean,
like Ernest said, I was in a different project for a couple years. And when I first moved down here, that was just kind of the first major band I had gotten into when I moved here, and we had gone through some hardships, as most bands do, and we were looking for a bass player. And so the drummer of that band was like, well, I know a guy I used to play with back in the day. Let me call him, see what he's doing. So then, like Ernest said, he wrote out and we all met. And that's just kind of when we clicked, man, is when Ernest came out to, see that acoustic show. And he was like, that's something I can get behind, and the synergy from that first show that we had with him on stage, I mean, with me and him, it just clicked. It felt natural. It felt like we had played together for years, and in a band, that's very important.
I can see you guys obviously really get along good together. I mean, you can see the relationship, how each of you get along, and how you can kind of see how it came together, and all that. So, the creation of the band, you've created the band now. Tell us about the selection of music. How are you coming across? What type of music are you playing? What inspires you? What artists are out there that inspires you as band members, and how that creation of music comes along?
So picking a set list, basically what we'll do, the way we advertise to people is because when people ask us at a show, like, what kind of music do you play? Well, we play kind of a little bit of everything. We'll play anything from, on our 4-hour gigs, we'll play anything from Morgan Wallen to Amy Winehouse to Metallica to AC/DC to John Mayer, and then getting into our original stuff, and then getting into our original stuff.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, we want it to be a show that no matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what genre you like, we're going to give you something. Because my whole thing with doing live music is if I can touch one person and make them feel good about something for just 2 or 3 minutes, I've done my job. That's what I'm here for. So that's, and also it's fun to just kind of not do the same type of stuff all the time. It gets really repetitive and monotonous, and it's just, there's no like element of surprise, which keeps people entertained as well. But yeah, I mean, and going into the writing process, especially about influences, at the moment, it's probably, I'd say somewhere along the lines, anywhere from Jason Aldean to Brantley Gilbert, a little bit of Nickelback thrown in there, maybe some Keith Urban,
Allman Brothers
thrown in there, just a whole bunch of different stuff thrown in the mixing pot, and just see what comes out.
Well, I'm glad you're talking about that, because I'm still kind of stuck on the Metallica and the transition to John Mayer. Now, is the Metallica and the John Mayer, is that in the same set? Is it?
Is it? It has been before. It has been before.
So with Amy Winehouse as well. So
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
So obviously there's a little delay because you got to make some adjustments there between Metallica and John Mayer. You know,
Usually we'll kind of slow it down and do either Amy Winehouse or John Mayer, and then at the end of the set we'll be like, all right, turn everything up to 12. All right, here we go. We're just gonna deafen people for a minute, real quick, but I mean, it goes over so well. Like we start going into like the Enter Sandman riff, for example, and I mean the place just goes nuts because you wouldn't expect it. You know, a band that just got done playing Allman Brothers and John Mayer, now they're gonna come and play Metallica. Like, I mean, come on now.
So let me go back to the first question. You said that you've been in Jesup before. I didn't catch it at first. Did you play at a local venue in Jesup?
I played at the VFW here in Jesup many times. Yeah. With multiple different bands, some of them, one of them was, a project I was in, and a lot of the times it was people calling me saying, "Hey, we need a lead guitar player. Can you come sit in?" I was like, "Sure, yeah." But
okay, have you guys played in Jesup at all?
Don't think so. We played the VFW in Hinesville. I think that's closest we've gotten down here.
We did.
Oh, I lied to you. I've played the Strand as well, the Bistro.
Yeah.
Over there, yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to give a shout out to our local area as far as the music scene. So Jesup is transforming ever so quietly into a destination that is evolving into a vibrant music scene. I mean, there's 4 locations downtown, and those 4 locations are walking distance between each other, and really great bands are playing at these different locations downtown, and you can walk from one to the other, and then there's 2 other locations. You mentioned one, VFW, and there's another one that's you can't walk to those. You got to catch a ride or something to those. But between the 4 downtown and walking distance and the other 2, that's 6 locations in Jesup that does live music in Jesup, and it's really starting to evolve into a vibrant music scene here in Jesup. If folks are down there on Friday night, Saturday night, and you got a band at one and you got a band at the other, and then you go to another spot and there's a group there playing, it's just a thing to behold as far as an evolving music scene. So we hope that you guys come back and play some of the local spots. And if there's folks out there that need some musicians, I'm going to set y'all up.
We'll take it. Come on.
Playing social media.
That would like the band to play at a venue, you can get in touch with us at the radio station, and then we're going to get you guys to share how they can get in touch with you
for sure
as well. And then Carrie over here is big time in the local music scene. So if you reach out to her too, she can kind of line some stuff up too. But let's take a break. Give you guys a little bit of time to think about stuff. I got to get to my favorite question. It's the last one on the list there. But we'll take a break, and we'll be back in just a moment with the band Delta Circle.
Get ready to satisfy your cravings at Watermelon Gumballs, Georgia's only dessert palace. From the imagination of a 5-year-old boy straight to your taste buds. Indulge in a delightful array of ice cream flavors, tantalizing candies, and delectable treats. Whether you're in the mood for a classic scoop of ice cream or a whimsical gumball creation, we've got something for everyone. Visit us Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. and treat yourself to a taste of pure happiness. Come on down to Watermelon Gumballs, located at 298 West R Street in Jesup, and let your sweet dreams come true.
Let's face it, having an accident is frustrating. That's exactly why Eric England and his professional staff is here to show you some love. From a heavy collision, custom paint, paintless dent repair, and of course all auto glass, we have you covered. So come see the Love Man and let us show your car some love. And remember, at England's, you're not just a customer, you're family. You are essential.
All right, back in the studio here at WIFO FM Big Dog Country, we've got the band Delta Circle, this week's winner of the local musician spotlight. So we're glad you guys are here, and we got a couple of more questions for you. And then toward the end, we're going to play one of their songs, and I hear it's really good. We'll get you guys to introduce it toward the end. But so we were talking about sets and the music selection for the sets. So another thing that I wanted to ask you about is, do you write your own material? I know you were talking about writing music. And do you write your own material? And if you are, how's that going? And is this song one of those?
So we do. And yes, this song that we're going to play here in a minute, it is one of our originals. We have 2 out right now. But funny enough, you asked that. We are actually doing our album release concert today at Coach's Corner. Doors open at 6. So the whole album drops tonight at midnight. And we're very excited. Ernest and I got the opportunity to go out to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and record with Ken Riley out at Rio Grande Studios out there, who just totally, I mean, he took what we had, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, it was great, the scratch tracks that we had and everything, but he totally steered us into a whole new direction that we didn't even, think to consider was, a possibility. And we are so proud and so happy with this album and the way it turned out.
Okay, so you got how many albums? You got one?
Just the one. It's our first album.
Okay, and this is the song off of that album.
There's 2. The first one that dropped, we dropped it not too long after we went out to the studio. We were actually in New Orleans when it dropped. We were playing the House of Blues that weekend, and that song dropped in 6 weeks. It got just shy of like 50,000 streams on Spotify. Yeah, it blew our minds. But this one, this newest one that we just dropped last Friday, it's already done amazing things, and we've already gotten such incredible feedback for it, and we're so grateful for it, man. We couldn't have asked for a better fan base of people.
So let me go to all 4 of you just for a quick answer. So what artist inspires you? How did, when growing up, how did you know you wanted to do this, and what were you inspired by? So Nick?
Oh, if I had to pick top 2, Keith Urban and Lincoln Brewster.
Gotcha. Ernest?
Man, the first band that really inspired me on the musical side of things was Guns N' Roses, because they were just such a transitional band, and to hear such different music. I grew up in country music, so that was like my first getaway coming away from that style of music, and that's kind of what sent me in the direction that it did.
Ernest, you got the Tim McGraw look, man. Did people say that to you, or what?
And no, that's the first, but if I can stay as looking as that guy is, I'll be doing all right.
I agree.
Kyle?
So the first 2 concerts I went to when I was about 12 years old was ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner, and to this day, that is those are my top 2.
Wow! And that comes out in the music?
It does.
100%. Oh yeah.
100%.
So you can hear a little ZZ and
yes, sir.
little Frank Beard, a little Bob Burns, and Smartness Pile in there.
Yes,
absolutely.
Sir. Okay, Josh.
Following his lead, first concert I ever went to about 20 years ago was Toby Keith, rest his soul. And that was, that just got me started, man. I love that kind of stuff. Toby Keith, Brooks and Dunn. I love Brooks and Dunn. That was my only answer in the last interview.
It was. There's
some ZZ Top, Skinner. I love all that stuff, man. I like everything.
There you go. Okay, venues. Tell us about the venues you played, especially about the venue with the biggest crowd, the biggest audience. Talk to us a little bit about that. Where was it, and what type of venue was it?
Man, I mean, we've played everything, from little bars in Savannah or surrounding in Savannah to all the way up to playing, like I was talking about earlier, we got to go to New Orleans and play the House of Blues in New Orleans, which was incredible. That was an incredible gig. We were very grateful for that. The biggest crowd we've had, Oh, help me out. I don't know, man. It was close between that one or
Either there or My Bar.
I was to say either there or My Bar in Perry. Yeah.
Probably the two biggest crowds, especially as far as a bar gig.
Yeah. I mean, My Bar, it takes the cake. I mean,
the most intimidating crowd was New Orleans because we were there at a conference, so you had, everybody who was in every facet of the industry there watching you, a bunch of musicians, producers, and
just a tiny bit of pressure, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, it's one thing to play for people, but when you play for people that do what you do, they're looking at you a little different.
Oh yeah.
So are you recognizing artists? Are you recognizing people when you're on stage and you're playing, or do you see somebody there that's kind of judging, checking you out?
100%.
That is an artist.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're and whether they're an artist or not, you're gonna have those people when you look out that are just kind of there, just like, I don't know about this.
That's not how you play that part of that song.
Yeah, right. You didn't play that like the record. We're like, we know, because another big thing of us is like, if they wanted to spin the record, they could have stayed home and done it for free. They came out. They're paying money, whether it's paying at the door or paying to get a drink or some food.
That's right.
They're paying to come out to see a show. No, we're not going to play it like the record. You're going to know what song it is, but we're going to have fun and give you a show.
That's because right. We don't mess up, we experiment.
Exactly. And as long as we all do it together, it sounds fine.
I like that.
Okay, so the last question, and then we're going to get you guys to introduce the song. We'll play the song, and then after the song, we'll come back, and you got to let folks know how to get in touch with you.
For sure.
And where they can find your music at and all that. We'll do that after the song. But this is the biggest question to me because it's all about entertainment. What is the funniest thing? It looks like Kyle's got the story.
You want to tell this story, Kyle?
What is the funniest thing? What's the funniest thing that's happened to you guys as a band on the road at venues and all that? And everybody's pointing to Kyle.
Go ahead, Kyle.
The House of Blues. When we were at the House of Blues, we were told that everything was backlined. We had nothing to worry about. We were going to show up and we were going to play. And as the drummer, I did not take a full drum kit with me to New Orleans under the assumption that everything would be there. Well, when we got to the venue, turns out they didn't have cymbals. Half the hardware was broken.
They didn't have any guitar amps.
Everything we were promised was not there.
So, they had a bass amp, so Ernest was fine.
Ernest was great.
And it was a fantastic bass amp. It sounded great.
I spent an hour and a half before the show started trying to figure out how we were going to play this show. And I was running down the street to the other bands playing down the street, asking to borrow equipment. And they were upset because they were promised equipment that wasn't at their shows. So none of us had anything.
We actually had one band that showed up to the venue and there wasn't even a drum kit.
There wasn't a drum kit at their venue.
We were lucky that
we were lucky that he at least had a snare, a kick, and I think 2 toms.
The sound guy at the House of Blues was able to acquire a set of hi-hats and a ride cymbal for me. But then he tells me the hi-hat stand has no clutch and no way for it to work. So I was able to get with that other drummer who found out he didn't even have a drum kit. And he gave me some tape, and we got some tape from the bar, and I taped together a hi-hat clutch, and I made it work. And
you're not from the South. You're from
Delaware.
So you know how to use duct tape, and you're like duct taping it, or
my full-time job is a mechanic.
Oh, okay.
I was for a long time a road technician, so I know how to make a lot of things work.
So he is our personal MacGyver over here.
Absolutely. I came up with this idea 5 minutes before we got on stage. And as they were sound checking, I was building a contraption out of duct tape to make things work. And
it worked beautifully.
The snare stand was broken. And the whole snare drum would just fall off of the stand every time you hit it.
In the middle of a song?
No, this was before we started. So I actually ran 2 blocks to the van to get the one that I happened to bring with me, and ran back to the venue. And as the time I got the snare drum on was time to start. Wow. I had no time to prep anything.
And he played his heart out, man.
I was gonna say,
the video is still up on our Facebook page. You can go and watch it. And I mean, watching the video, knowing now what y'all know, you wouldn't know unless we told you.
Yeah. As soon as we started, all of these problems, everything gone. Everything, as soon as we started playing, just went away.
We just had all this pent up aggression, and just anger of how south the gig was going that when we played that show, I think we all lost our voice. We just sang and played so hard.
The same guys we were worried about judging us started out with, the arms crossed sitting there the first couple of songs. By the end of the set, every last one of them was out there dancing around. I mean, we
loved
blew
it.
the
It
roof
was
off the place.
great. It was such a good time.
So that story is the exact definition that the show's got to go on.
Show must go on, man.
Yeah.
If you
Hell or high water.
it's happening.
We were looking at trash can lids, anything, man.
I'm going to say, even if you're a cappella.
That's it.
Amen.
That's it.
I was about ready to do it. I think somebody there still had an acoustic guitar. I'd say, Josh, pick it, and I'll just sing.
I've done that
Gotcha.
before. We lost power one time, and we just, while we're waiting to
Just
get it back
acapella.
on, just acapella.
That's awesome.
Okay, so now we're to the point of playing the song. So we need introduction to the song, and then we're going to highlight it and play it for you. This is Delta Circle in the studio of WIFO FM Big Dog Country, and they are in studio. We're about to play their song. So who's going to introduce it from here?
Oh, okay. I was going to throw it to you, but I guess I'll do it. All right. No, so this song here's for Small Town. This is an ode to Small Town USA. It's one of those songs where it means something to each one of us personally, but it's just an anthem about growing up in a small town, having big dreams and chasing those dreams, and now looking back on it and being proud of where you came from and just growing up in a good old small town. I mean, there's really not much more to it. It's just, it is a great song with a great anthem background. So we hope y'all enjoy it.
Here's to the ones working hard all week, making this the land we love. Here's to the ones behind the scenes, making this town shine like gold. We crank it up and play it loud so the whole world knows the place we lay our heads at night, the place I learned to cuss and fight, the place where Mama taught me how to pray, the place where we know y'all by name, the place where I was born and raised. Sure as hell wouldn't want it any other way. Here's to a small town. We kick up dust on Friday nights, live it up under neon lights. We sneak our bottles to the game and wear that red and black with pride. The place we lay our heads at night, the place I learned to cuss and fight, the place where Mama taught me how to pray, the place where we know y'all by name, the place where I was born and raised. Sure as hell wouldn't want it any other way. Here's to a small town. Been gone so long on the road, now it's time to come home, to see those winter roads I used to roam. The place we lay our heads at night, the place I learned to cuss and fight, the place where Mama taught me how to pray, the place where we know y'all by name, the place where I was born and raised. Sure as hell wouldn't want it any other way.
Delta Circle, and here's to a small town. So Nick, Ernest, Kyle, and Josh make up the band Delta Circle. So tell us about that song and the album that it's on, and how folks can get a copy of that and get into the venues you're playing and all that. Who's up?
That was our second single. We just dropped off our upcoming album, Someone Else's Story, which will be available streaming everywhere at midnight tonight. But we are having an album release party at Coach's Corner in Savannah, Georgia. The doors open at 6 o'clock. We start at 7. We're got the Gary Bird Band that's going to be joining us on stage. We'll be having a listening party so everybody gets to hear the album in advance. And then we're going to come on stage and close it out and go from there, man. So, yeah, we're super excited. This is our debut album. And like I said, they can come out tonight, hear everything. And then at midnight tonight, it'll be available everywhere.
Nice. All right. So the venue again?
Coach's Corner in Savannah, Georgia.
Coach's Corner, what time? Again?
6 o'clock. Doors open at 6. Band start at 7.
Gotcha. Okay, so we talked about the music scene in Jesup. It's evolving. It's coming along. We got venues here. So how can folks that need a good band, at one of the venues here, how can they get in touch with you? How can they find you and all that? Talk to us.
They can of course just go straight to Facebook. They can direct message us on there. They can email us at deltacirclemusic@gmail.com, and we're available on every social media platform. We're on TikTok, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. Yeah. So we're a simple little Google search, and you can find us.
There you go. Okay. Any final comments? Anything you want to throw in?
Hey, we appreciate everybody voting and getting us here. We appreciate you guys. It's
absolutely
been amazing.
This has been so awesome. Thank you. It's been an honor.
You guys are awesome. That song is really, really good.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
I could see the business coming to you, the phone's ringing off the hook and all the messages.
I receive it, man.
That was really, really good. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming to Jesup, Georgia, and thank you for coming to WIFO Big Dog Country. And this was great, man. This was really entertaining. Thank you guys.
Hey, thank you for having us. Y'all come see us at Coaches tonight. Thank you again.
All right, there you go. That's the band Delta Circle, the musician spotlight winners for this week on WIFO FM Big Dog Country. So our musician spotlight has been sponsored by Union Station Brewing Company, American Steel Buildings, Watermelon Gumballs, and England's Collision Center.
Hey y'all, it's Jonathan Wheat from Union Station Brewing Company, Wayne County's first and only brewery. We do a lot of firsts around here. We built Jesup's first beer garden, built the first indoor axe throwing facility, host open mic nights, taproom yoga, and of course, we're the first family-friendly place to grab amazing craft beer. We're proud to sponsor the local musician spotlight, many of whom have performed here already. Keep an eye out for future dates with some of these great artists. We're located at 106 Southwest Broad Street in Jesup, down by the tracks. Union Station Brewing Company. Craft beer just got better.
Are you in need of a durable, reliable, and cost-effective building solution? Look no further than American Steel Buildings in Jesup, Georgia. With American Steel Buildings, you can trust that you're getting a high-quality product at a great price. Call Chad Burke at American Steel Buildings in Jesup, Georgia today at 912-294-2011 or visit our website at americansteelbuildingsllc.com.
Get ready to satisfy your cravings at Watermelon Gumballs, Georgia's only dessert palace. From the imagination of a 5-year-old boy straight to your taste buds. Indulge in a delightful array of ice cream flavors, tantalizing candies, and delectable treats. Whether you're in the mood for a classic scoop of ice cream or a whimsical gumball creation, we've got something for everyone. Visit us Wednesday through Sunday from noon to 8 p.m. and treat yourself to a taste of pure happiness. Come on down to Watermelon Gumballs, located at 298 West R Street in Jesup, and let your sweet dreams come true.
Let's face it, having an accident is frustrating. That's exactly why Eric England and his professional staff is here to show you some love. From a heavy collision, custom paint, paintless dent repair, and of course all auto glass, we have you covered. So come see the Love Man and let us show your car some love. And remember, at England's, you're not just a customer, you're family. You are essential.